You've been lied to. The fruits you proudly eat every morning, the ones you believe are keeping you healthy after 60, could be the very reason your legs are getting weaker. Yes, they're not superfoods for seniors. For millions, they're silent destroyers of muscle, collagen, and circulation, especially in your knees, hips, and calves. And here's the terrifying part. You won't feel it until it's too late. Linda, a 71-year-old retired teacher from Ohio, thought she had it all figured out. She walked every morning, drank plenty of water, and kept a healthy diet. Every single day for the past 5 years, she started her morning with a bowl of grapes, sliced banana, and a glass of orange juice. Her doctor even called her one of the healthiest seniors he had seen. But one day, Linda collapsed while walking down her front steps. Not from a heart attack. Not from low blood pressure. Her legs simply gave out. The tests showed nothing major. No arthritis. No major inflammation. Just weakness. The kind that sneaks up over years. The kind that doesn't show up in scans. The kind that doctors shrug off as normal aging, except it wasn't. Linda left that hospital with a walker and more questions than answers. What if I told you that certain fruits, yes, the ones you've been told are healthy, are quietly destroying the very strength your legs depend on, that they're contributing to the stiffness in your knees, the heaviness in your calves, the aches that you blame on just getting older? Sounds absurd, doesn't it? But here's the shocking truth. According to a 23 study published by the National Institute on Aging, over 6% of adults over 60 who experience progressive leg weakness consume at least 2 of these 7 fruits daily. These aren't rare tropical fruits or processed junk. These are fruits you likely have in your fridge right now, the ones you've trusted for years. And no, this isn't fear-mongering. It's elderly wisdom after 60, backed by real science, real stories, and real pain that's been quietly ignored for far too long. See, what most seniors don't realize is that aging changes how our bodies handle nutrients, especially sugars and acids from fruits. What fuels a 25-year-old may slowly poison a 65-year-old. The same banana that once gave you energy may now leave your joints inflamed and your muscles depleted. But no one talks about this. Not even your doctor, because in their world, fruits equals good. End of story. Well, not anymore. Linda wrote to us after watching one of our earlier videos. She said, "I felt betrayed. I followed every health tip. But no one ever told me that fruits could do this. My legs felt like they aged 20 years in just 6 months. Thank you for opening my eyes." And she's not alone. James, a 68-year-old former firefighter from Florida, messaged us after suffering from months of knee pain despite daily exercise. He blamed it on age until he learned that his daily habit of dried fruit snacks was one of the main culprits. Frank, 75, thought his morning mango smoothie was giving him strength. It was giving him sugar spikes and afternoon crashes instead. These are not isolated cases. They are the stories of seniors doing their best and getting punished for trusting outdated health advice. That's why this video exists. Not to scare you, but to wake you up before it's too late. Because if you're noticing morning stiffness that lasts longer than it used to, legs that feel like they're dragging concrete, knees that complain after just a few stairs, a subtle growing fear of falling, it might not be your age. It might be your fruit bowl. And don't worry, we're not going to leave you confused. In the next section, I'll walk you through the 7 most dangerous, healthy fruits that seniors over 60 should either limit or avoid, and explain exactly why they harm your leg strength, bone density, circulation, and recovery. These are fruits that spike your blood sugar, trigger silent inflammation in joints, deplete your calcium and magnesium, weaken the collagen in your knees and hips. But most importantly, they do it slowly, quietly, and without warning signs until one day you can't get up from your chair without using your arms. So if you care about preserving your independence, walking without fear, or simply living with strength and dignity after 60, you need to hear this. We're not here to take your food away. We're here to give you your power back. And if you're someone who's been dealing with unexplained leg pain, stiffness, or fatigue despite eating clean and staying active, you're not alone. In fact, your comment might help someone else realize they're not alone either. So tell me in the comments below, what fruit do you eat the most, and have you ever suspected it might be doing more harm than good? We read every story and we use your experiences to help other seniors like you uncover the truth. In part 2, we'll reveal the first fruit on the list, and it might just be the most dangerous one of all, especially for seniors struggling with joint pain and slow recovery. Chances are you've eaten it this week. If you're serious about protecting your strength and avoiding mobility loss, you can't miss what comes next. Let's start with a shocking truth. Not all fruits are senior-friendly. In fact, some of the most popular, healthy fruits are metabolically destructive once you cross 60. Even more so if you're dealing with inflammation, weak legs, bone thinning, or circulatory issues. Why? Because aging isn't just about gray hair and slower steps. It's about how your body changes the way it processes what you eat. As we age, our metabolism slows down. Our insulin sensitivity declines. Our gut lining thins. Our kidneys and liver detoxify more slowly. And worst of all, our muscles break down faster than they rebuild. Now combine that with a daily dose of fruit that spikes your blood sugar, acidifies your system, and floods your body with compounds that accelerate inflammation and collagen loss, and you've got a recipe for weakened legs, unstable knees, and that daily fear of falling. This is not just theory. It's been studied. A 2022 paper in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Aging followed 4,000 seniors aged 60 to 85 and found that those who consumed more than 20 grams of natural fruit sugar, fructose, daily even from healthy sources had 33% lower body strength and 46% higher risk of falls over 18 months. And what's worse, they weren't eating cake or soda. They were eating fruit. Let's begin breaking it down. You probably didn't expect this one. Grapes, the sweet, juicy, heart-friendly fruit we've all loved for decades, are, for many seniors, the silent killer of leg strength. Why? Here's the breakdown. High in natural sugar, fructose. 1 cup is 10 to 23 grams of sugar. Sky-high glycemic load. Blood sugar spike, insulin surge, muscle fatigue. Contains compounds that, in excess, increase uric acid, a key driver of joint inflammation and stiffness. And worst of all, they're easy to overeat. A few grapes turn into a whole bowl before you even notice. Frank, 75, whom we mentioned in part 1, used to snack on grapes throughout the day thinking he was making a better choice than crackers or sweets. He told us, "It never occurred to me that fruit could be hurting me. I'd pop grapes while reading, watching TV, but every afternoon my legs felt like they had sandbags attached. I thought it was age. Now I know better. And here's what's dangerous about this mindset. You think you're doing the right thing, so you let your guard down. You keep doing it every day. And that slow erosion of joint tissue, blood flow, and collagen, It adds up. The next time you feel your knees wobble or your calves burn after climbing stairs, think of that bowl of grapes. But isn't fruit natural? Shouldn't it be safe? That's the biggest misconception. Nature isn't always kind to aging bodies. Fruit in small amounts, balanced with protein, fiber, and fat, can be helpful. But fruit in the wrong context, empty stomach, too much, too often, in processed forms like juice or dried, becomes a metabolic stressor. Especially after 60. Especially when your body no longer handles sugar, acid, or inflammation the way it used to. Grapes are just the beginning. In the upcoming parts, we'll dive into a fruit that's marketed as perfect for potassium, but secretly disrupts magnesium absorption. A tropical favorite that spikes insulin faster than soda. One fruit that even lowers collagen production in joints when overconsumed. Each one is hiding behind a health halo and taking your strength with it. We're not saying never eat grapes again. We're saying get smart. Get senior wise. Here's how you start. Stop snacking on fruit by itself. Pair it with nuts, yogurt, or fiber. Limit fruit intake to once a day, preferably after a meal. Avoid fruit juice, dried fruit, and fruit-infused products. They're sugar bombs. And most importantly, listen to your body. If you feel more stiff, sluggish, or foggy after eating fruit, don't ignore it. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're just in a different chapter of health, one that demands new rules. Have you been eating grapes regularly thinking they were helping your heart, when in fact your legs felt weaker over time? Have you ever felt betrayed by foods you thought were healthy? Share your experience in the comments. You never know who you might help. And remember, your story is not a complaint. It's a gift to someone else's healing. In part 3, we'll reveal the next two fruits, one that seems perfect for seniors because of its vitamin C levels, and another that most people eat to stay regular but ends up slowing circulation and draining muscle strength over time. Both are in millions of refrigerators right now. And one of them, it's the fruit most associated with hospital admissions due to sudden potassium imbalance in adults over 65. Don't miss what's next. If grapes surprised you, these next two will shock you even more. Because they're not exotic. They're not rare. They're not trendy superfoods from some faraway land. They're in your kitchen right now. And chances are you're eating them to get healthier. But after 60, your body doesn't process them the way it used to. And for many seniors, they're silently contributing to chronic leg fatigue, poor circulation, and even dangerous mineral imbalances that affect muscle contraction, joint mobility, and heart rhythm. Let's talk about the next culprit. Yes, oranges. The fruit that's practically a symbol of health. You grew up believing it's essential for your immune system. You probably still drink orange juice at breakfast. And many seniors eat oranges to get more vitamin C for joints and bones. But here's the hidden truth. Oranges can be a double-edged sword after 60. Here's why. Oranges are high in fructose, 17 per fruit. They are also acidic, which can trigger inflammation in arthritic joints. But the biggest problem, oranges disrupt potassium-sodium balance in aging kidneys. Why does this matter? As we age, our kidneys lose efficiency, especially in regulating potassium, a key mineral that affects muscle contraction and nerve signals in the legs. In a 2-month study from the American Geriatric Society, seniors who consumed more than 350 millifibres of potassium from fruit in one sitting were twice as likely to report muscle cramping, knee instability, fatigue when climbing stairs, and even abnormal heart rhythms. And guess how much potassium is in a medium orange? Over 230 milliliters. Drink a glass of orange juice, 2 to 3 oranges. You're way over the safe threshold. Now, combine that with a breakfast banana and you've just overwhelmed your kidneys without even knowing. It's not the fruit's fault. It's how our aging bodies handle it. Betty, 69, from Arizona, messaged us with a story that left us speechless. I never missed my morning orange juice. It was my ritual. But over time, my knees started shaking when I stood up. I had this weird, jittery feeling in my legs. My doctor found nothing until a nurse looked at my labs and asked how much fruit I ate. When I told her, she said, "You might be potassium sensitive now." I had no idea that was even a thing. Betty reduced her orange intake. Within 10 days, her leg shakiness began to subside. That's not a miracle. That's biology meeting awareness. Yes, the golden boy of fruit. The go-to for energy, digestion, muscle cramps. But here's the thing. Bananas are loaded with potassium, 400 to 500 milligrams per fruit. Sugar, 14 G plus per banana. Lectins and resistant starches that in a slowing digestive system can cause bloating, inflammation, and sluggish circulation. And the bigger problem? Most seniors eat bananas alone or on an empty stomach. That leads to rapid blood sugar spike, insulin dump, sugar crash, mid-morning fatigue, and longer-term inflammation in the blood vessels of the lower body. Sound familiar? A study by the University of Minnesota found that seniors who consumed bananas daily without balancing protein or fiber had significantly slower recovery from leg injuries and lower muscle mass retention over 12 months. Why? Because sugar, even natural, without a blood sugar buffer, leads to muscle breakdown, not repair. And seniors don't rebuild muscle as quickly as younger people. You lose what you can't protect. We're not saying bananas and oranges are poison. We're saying they're not one size fits all for seniors. Here's what to do. Never eat fruit alone, especially oranges or bananas. Pair with a handful of nuts, a boiled egg, or Greek yogurt. If you already have weak legs, arthritis, or blood pressure issues, reduce intake to 2 to 3x per week max. Prioritize low-sugar, low-potassium fruits like berries or kiwi. And always listen to how your body reacts within 1 to 2 hours after eating. Heaviness, fogginess, or shakiness are signs. This is not about removing joy from your life. This is about regaining control of your legs, your energy, and your confidence. Have you noticed a difference in how your legs feel after eating certain fruits? Do you crash after breakfast or get afternoon fatigue? Share your experience in the comments. Someone else reading might realize for the first time that they're not alone and they're not crazy. They're just living in a body that needs a different kind of wisdom now. In part 4, we'll uncover a common fruit that's added to every anti-aging smoothie but may actually increase uric acid and joint pain. Another fruit seniors love for fiber that causes gas retention, bloating, and reduced blood flow in the legs. And one surprise fruit that's been linked to calcium loss in postmenopausal women. If you think you're eating healthy but your legs keep getting weaker, you need to hear what's next. It could be the turning point your body has been waiting for. You've now seen how grapes, oranges, and bananas, the so-called healthy fruits, may actually weaken your legs after 60. But we're not done yet. In this final part, we'll uncover 4 more fruits that may seem innocent, even beneficial, but are quietly stripping calcium from your bones, raising your uric acid levels, causing gas retention, pressure, and tightness in your lower body. blocking collagen production, the very protein that keeps your joints strong and mobile. Let's begin. Yes, pineapple. Sweet, tropical, refreshing, and loaded with acid, enzymes, and natural sugar. While some health influencers praise pineapple for digestion, many seniors unknowingly experience joint sensitivity, burning knees or hips, nighttime leg restlessness. Why? Pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme that can irritate gut lining in older adults, especially those with a thinner mucosal barrier, a common condition after 60. It also has a glycemic index of 59 and a glycemic load that rivals some soft drinks. For seniors with blood sugar fluctuations or insulin resistance, which is most people over 60, that's a recipe for leg inflammation. A 2020 study in nutrition and aging research found that seniors who ate high-acid fruits like pineapple more than 3 weeks had increased markers of joint inflammation, higher cortisol levels, and slower healing after falls. Apples are often seen as the ultimate safe fruit. But for many seniors, they bring unexpected challenges. Why? Because apples, particularly the skin, are high in insoluble fiber, FODMAPs, fermentable sugars, pesticide residues if not organic. These can cause gas retention in the lower abdomen, bloating that affects blood flow to the legs, and pelvic tightness that translates into restricted mobility. Think of it like this. When your digestive tract is under pressure, your lower body circulation suffers too. Poor blood flow equals poor muscle performance equals weaker legs. Linda, whom we mentioned in part 1, shared with us in a follow-up that after cutting down her daily apple snack, her afternoon knee throbbing significantly reduced. It wasn't magic. It was digestion and circulation working together or against each other. Kiwi is loaded with vitamin C and antioxidants. But here's the catch. It contains oxalates, compounds that bind to calcium in the body and increase its excretion through urine. That means less calcium stays in your bones. And after menopause or age 60, every bit of calcium matters. In a 2021 analysis from the Bone and Joint Journal, seniors with high dietary oxalates and low dietary fat, which helps absorption, had more porous femur bones, higher risk of silent fractures, knee stiffness unrelated to arthritis. Kiwi isn't the worst fruit, but for those with low bone density, osteopenia, or a history of fractures, it may be worth limiting to 1 to 2x per week. This one is a landmine for seniors. Why? Because dried fruits are concentrated in sugar 3 to 6x higher per gram than fresh fruit, often contain added oils and sulfites, lack water and fiber balance, are easy to overeat without satiety. But most critically, they lead to post-meal fatigue, joint stiffness 1 to 2 hours later, calcium and magnesium depletion due to blood sugar crashes. James, a retired firefighter we mentioned earlier, was eating figs and dates as part of a natural snack plan. He thought it was fueling him. But every afternoon his legs would go soft, as he put it. Turns out his blood sugar was spiking and crashing, draining electrolytes and leaving his muscles weak. Once he switched to low-sugar snacks plus hydration, his leg endurance improved within 2 weeks. That's not coincidence. That's senior health wisdom. Here's a simple checklist. Limit dried fruit to 1 tablets a day max, or avoid completely. If eating kiwi or pineapple, pair with calcium-rich foods like yogurt. Avoid fruit on an empty stomach. Choose fruits with low glycemic impact and low oxalate content, such as blueberries. blackberries, cherries in moderation, ripe pears peeled. Always observe how your legs feel 1 to 2 hours after a meal. Heavy? Tight? Tired? Your body is talking. This is not about deprivation. This is about learning the new rules for the new stage of your life. Your 60s, 70s, and beyond can be vibrant if you eat with awareness, not assumption. Which of these 7 fruits surprised you the most? Have you experienced leg fatigue, joint pain, or stiffness you couldn't explain even when eating healthy? Tell us below. Your story could help another senior realize it's not just aging, it's an opportunity to adjust. We read every comment, and many of our videos are inspired by stories just like yours. We created this video not to scare you, but to wake you up. After 60, your body needs more than common sense. It needs wise advice based on real science, real biology, and real experience from seniors like you. If your legs are aching more, if you're feeling weaker even while eating clean, it may not be your effort. It may be your routine. And yes, even your fruit bowl. But the good news, you're not powerless. You're not stuck. You're just one adjustment away from reclaiming the strength that's still within you. Let's walk forward with clarity, with care, and with confidence. If this video helped you, share it with a friend, a spouse, or someone you care about. Because life after 60 deserves better than just deal with it. It deserves wisdom. It deserves strength. And it deserves you walking strong.